Hello, I'm Dr. Rebecca Chory. I am a professor of management at Frostburg State University in Frostburg, Maryland, which is in the very western part of the state of Maryland, about an hour east of Morgantown, West Virginia, and about a half an hour south of the Pennsylvania line. So I earned my PhD in communication from Michigan State University in 2000. Then I went to West Virginia University and was a professor there for 14 years. I went from an assistant professor to full professor. And then I switched over to a College of Business at Frostburg State University back in 2014. And so this is my 12th year at Frostburg State University in a College of Business, or a set of business disciplines. And I'm in the Department of Management, and I'm doing the same work that I was doing as a communication scholar, just under the banner of management. So currently I teach leadership and ethics in a class I created, intro to management, class I created, management 333, sex, gender, and workplace relationships. That's my favorite class to teach. But today I am pleased to be speaking with you about my program of research on classroom justice. So you are lucky to have Dr. Valade as a professor. She's excellent, and thank you for having me do this. It's nice to get the opportunity to talk about the origins of the project. So I started thinking about this, and really, I guess the area originated back in spring of 2000. It was my last semester as a PhD student at Michigan State, and I was focusing on, I had two cognates, which were media effects, and the other one was organizational communication. And so I was looking a lot at aggressive communication and verbally aggressive media content. And my last semester, I took extra courses. So I was taking a course from Dr. Dan Ailgen, who was an IO psychologist at Michigan State. And it was a doctoral seminar on work motivation and job satisfaction. And one of the topics that we discussed was organizational justice. And it was one of those topics that just spoke to me. Fairness has always been an issue with me. It was something that I've always been passionate about and been sensitive to. And so the idea of fairness in the workplace was something that made a lot of sense, but it was a new concept. And so I thought, given my background as a master's student at West Virginia University, I earned my undergrad and my master's in comm from WVU. I thought, well, this hasn't been applied to the classroom. This would be so easy, and it makes so much sense. So one of my first projects after I earned my PhD and started at WVU was to do the initial study on classroom justice. That's the 2002 piece that was published in Comm Quarterly. And so then I started working with Michelle Paulsell, who was an EDD student at the time. That was before WVU had its PhD program. And she and I did some work, and then it's grown from there. So I initially started the work I was primarily concerned with the violence aspect, because I was focused a lot on aggressive communication and violence when I initially started thinking about the project. So I was doing mass communication research, media effects, where I was looking at verbally aggressive media content. I was also doing some consulting work where I was writing summaries of research on workplace violence and school violence and gang violence. And so I thought, and the reading I had done about the antisocial effects of unfairness, I thought, well, I wonder if it's related to these issues in classroom settings. So I was interested in aggression, interested in fairness, and I had this idea to apply to the classroom, and I had the perfect venue in which to do that, which was at WVU, where they were open to instructional comm research. But honestly, I'd never been interested in learning as an outcome. And I wanted to know more about the organizational aspects, the management aspects, the behavioral, the relational aspects. And so that's why most of my work is focused on things like antisocial communication in the classroom. So that's where it began. And since then, it has just been really unexpectedly successful area. And I'm still doing the work. I am working with two Iranian scholars on a special journal issue. We are writing a book. The book is in print, right? It's being published right now. We've done a whole lot of work on that. And I also am working with an Italian PhD student and her advisor on classroom justice research. And these people have just kind of contacted me with new ideas. And so we're branching into these non-US contexts. So that's the origin of the project. Today, I'm still doing issues related to fairness in workplace relationships, primarily personal workplace relationships, workplace romances, workplace friendships, and how fairness operates there. And also in terms of classroom outcomes, recently I've looked at things like incivility in the classroom. And I will say that the instructional research is very applicable to organizational contexts, especially training and learning new skills and so forth. And like I said, I've always been more interested in kind of the management aspects of justice in the classroom. I was pleased to see, I took a brief look at your course syllabi, and I'm pleased to see the work by Sprague, the 92 and the 2002. Those were particularly oriented toward power, and I've done a lot of work on power in the classroom. And over the years, I've come to really appreciate her thoughts. And it's gotten me thinking more about the structural aspects of the classroom. And so my current work at an educational type context is with regard to more of the macro structures of the profession and the prestige of working and being a professor and a scholar and in the modern university environments. So I have a piece coming out in the Academy of Management, Learning and Education. That's one of the Academy of Management's flagship journals, and it is on essentially what it means being a business professor in power and the profession as a whole. So all of these things, the power, like the Sprague articles, have been very influential in thinking about the organizational aspects of the instructional environment and the more structural aspects, and seeing the work we do as professors from the perspective of a workplace and a profession, not so much from the student learning perspective, but the things that go on our side of the table and of the relationship. There isn't enough, I think, in communication that looks at those aspects, and those clearly translate into what happens in the classroom, in the instructional environment with the students. So that's the kind of work I'm doing now, and that's the background on classroom justice. I'm so excited that you're reading my work, and I appreciate it very much. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have ideas that you'd like to run past me, you can reach out via email. I'm sure Dr. Valade will supply that to you. It's also, of course, online. And all of my research is on ResearchGate, so have at it. Appreciate your time. Best of luck, and thank you again for allowing me to speak to you about my work.